But okie dokie, what do we want to do with the rest of our evening? We could get started. Up next here is Vine Stalker. So actually, we're kind of continuing the trend of firsts because I've never played a Vine Stalker before. I've heard amazing things. They're one of the examples that I've heard brought up oftentimes where people say how the ratings here, simple, immediate, advanced, aren't difficulties, they're complexities. Because a lot of people swear that Vine Stalker is one of the easier species in the game. I mean, I don't know that for myself. Not being able to drink potions is interesting, a bit of a change from the usual, but pretty sure the idea is that you just stack regen to ridiculous extremes, and then you'll be constantly healing up throughout the course of a fight. But again, what do I know? I've never played one before. So that's going to be interesting, and I think we will maybe start one off today. Is there any background that people would like to see with Vine Stalker? Background, deity choice, anything like that? Now's the time to get in the suggestions if there's any you want to see. Always appreciate names as well. I feel like there are lots of good options. I mean, we're plant themed. We go with some kind of vegetable spin-off. Of course, as soon as I start mentioning it, Saphid for the rescue here. Groot, Poison Ivy, Shambling Mount, Swamp Thing. Ooh. Could be Groot. That's nice and simple. I like Poison Ivy though. A bit more fitting with the color scheme. Swamp Thing is also fantastic. Not to look down on Shambling Mound. Also great. Also good stuff. But of course, much like we did last week, since we're doing this a bit more on the fly, I didn't have enough faith in myself to look stuff up in advance. But I'm going to do a quick check on the Vine Stalker wiki page. At least for kind of the overarching stratagems and things to keep in mind here. So let's see. As Vine Stalkers, we get Fangs too, so we start off with an auxiliary bite attack, which makes sense because we've seen the description, if we pop up here real quick, that they have a magic stealing bite, or magic restoring bite, rather. But it does, I believe, have anti-magic. Looks like it here, so that's pretty cool. It has the anti-magic brand, kind of as an auxiliary attack. Cannot drink potions, so that includes potions of ambrosia, so that's good to know. Though curing, still useful for getting rid of status effects. And we have Spirit Shield, which is like, what is it, Spirit Guardian? Is that what the normal ego is? So constantly can use our magic to take the brunt of some of the attack. Pretty fantastic. 30% less health than normal. Oh, we're back in those days. Upgrade to Fangs 3 at level 8, and we gain Regen 1 at level 4, so we can definitely stack regeneration as much as possible. And that's about that. We can get into the aptitudes themselves as we get into the main thrust of things. Regen, you say? So gee, it is. If only we could be so lucky. And Vine Stalker of Wu, please, you need it. I mean, hey, that sounds lovely to me. I do love me some Wujian. So, perfect. I think we'll get into that right away here. Before we do, I'm going to quickly run out, grab a refill for my glass, and then get ready for our plant boy, I guess. So don't go anywhere, and I'll be right back. See you in a sec. Transmuters, your vote Saphid. Ooh, it'd be interesting for sure. Vine Stalker of the Torinski is the thorniest, which is an anagram. Oh my gosh, that's great. Oh, that is fantastic. Fed ass is the flavor win because plant. Not wrong there. And Brigand of Woo is what you do. Short blades are great with Woo since you can get 15 Slay. That's pretty wild for sure. Okay, for this one, I think what I might do is for the first time, maybe, I might have done this once before. Let's put it up to a bit of a vote, shall we? Give me just a quick second here to pull up the old, not dashboard, stream manager is the one. Even just bring that over here real quick. And I don't know which one of these little things is poll. Manage poll. New poll. How we doing this? So we're gonna be, it's Brigand, it is Fighter, or Transmuter. I get all those. Perfect. Duration, yeah. No, let's plop that bad boy in there. So definitely vote now on which of the three backgrounds you'd like to see. I think we will go Wujian because that sounds really fun. And confirm that Gimbal and Cairo and Wujian is insane, I could imagine. And you're not wrong, Thelphon. We did ask for Jivia and we got Jivia, so come on. Nothing but Gimbal. Let's do this. Alrighty. Poll is just about done here. We'll see how it all shakes out. I'm saving myself in suspense, or keeping myself in suspense, not looking at the results yet. If it's one of each, then I have to try it out. Katniss Evergreen, the Hunter. Oh, Safid. Just when I think you've reached the pinnacle, the apex, you go one step further. But now it looks like Brigand gets the vote here with 50%, so let us definitely go that direction. I mean, I still think I might take Katniss Evergreen. It's not a hunter, but you know, she's a bit of a brigand herself, mostly because the law in that given situation in that universe is not in a good spot, morally speaking. So let's do it, shall we? We'll be a Vine Stalker, Brigand, and Stealer of Cabbage Hearts, also very cute. I wish that could be our title. We could be Katniss Evergreen, the Stealer of Cabbage Hearts. Now, I hope I don't die immediately on this and wish that I did save the name for a hunter, but I'm sure it'll be fine. First try, right? I mean, it worked for Deep Dwarf. Let's just get it again. May the odds be ever in my favor. Thank you, thank you. And also in yours, though that's... I don't know, is there a traditional reply? I don't think there is, right? And also with you is the go-to. But okie dokie. Do we want to keep with short blades? So something like quick blades are super powerful in Vine Stalkers just because you're getting extra procs, which means more magic restoring bites, which means more health come back to you. It's almost like you have an anti-magic mixed with vampiric auxiliary attack. So definitely want to be attacking as quickly as possible here. The line of Evergreen lives, indeed it does. Hopefully it continues to. That's the plan at least. So let's keep fighting on in the background. Cap it out at 9. Short blades. I don't know what... Do we have a short sword or... No, just a dagger for now. It is +2 though, so that's lovely. Could train a little bit of stealth at the start if we wanted, but I'm feeling pretty good with that. This is a holdover from how I've just always played. Though it was mentioned last week that it's a bit of an interesting one. Because, yeah, much like Thelphon kind of hints at there, if we find something else that changes our mind, I've kind of wasted some experience, but in my books, that's generally okay. I'd rather get a little bit more consistent at fighting early to try and survive long enough to maybe find something, And as we saw in our last game, if you get to the end of the game on a melee character, you have more experience than you know what to do with. So I think we'll be okay in the long run here. Amy Vinehouse, Britney Spearman, hell, even Harry Potter doesn't need anything else. Oh, you are on a roll today, my friend. I absolutely love it. Makes my job a heck of a lot easier. And actually, I meant to mention to you, Safid, my wife asked this morning if I was still on Mediocre, because she loved the name. And I mentioned, no, we're actually Big McHuge Stonebeard. And she also loved that name. So I mentioned that they all came from you, and she was hoping that you'll forever name all of our characters, because she's a huge fan. And me as well. I greatly appreciate it, for sure. Early XP is insignificant in the long run. Doesn't matter if it is wasted. Exactly, yeah, not a big deal. But okay, we've set up our auto pickup, got our skills sorted. Last but not least, let's do a dump file real quick. We'll have to navigate over, since even though I was pretty happy, pretty confident in Big McHuge over there, I still wasn't sure if we'd make it through today. Just keeping my hopes in check there, but here we are. So let's navigate over to the morgue location. Any second now. Any second now. Computer struggling a bit. There she is. Katniss Evergreen. The plant on fire! I hope not. I hope not. Katniss can get away with it, but as the planty boy, we probably do not want to be on fire at any given moment. So, something to keep in mind. There we go, though. We'll paste that seed up on the stream, just in case. I mean, hey, maybe this one will be just as incredible as the last, in which case, we were definitely happy to have that. Yeah, early XP should go to survive an early game with exactly 0 other consideration, and it cross-trains anyway. Exactly. You got Invo on your deep warp run because it helped with Evie until you found Jivia, for sure. Well, no, save it. It's all you. It's all you, my friend. You are a whiz with the name game, and I very much appreciate it. I feel like we all do. And Cactus Everdeen would have also worked. See, you just don't stop, my friend. Out of control with the brilliant names, and I love to see it. Gyron Gimbal is right around that corner to the north. Did we? Well, we went the wrong way. You know, let's just hold in suspense. Make sure that people aren't getting the good stuff right away. You generally want to hold off. Keep them hooked, you know? Keep them in their seats. As we almost die. Whoopsie daisies. Well, let's heal up real quick. That's fine. Ignore that. Gyre? Gimbal? No takers? Oh, you must have been thinking of floor 2, Thalphon, right? That's around the northern corner on floor 2, of course. Of course, I should have seen it coming. So let's just finish off this floor. Nothing to see here. Further reason to train short blades, improve Gyron Gimbal's odds on acquire. This is true. Yeah, at least a quick blade of some kind. Yes, of course. Exactly. No, you know what you're doing. I should also... Ooh. Actually, right. I have Curari darts. This is not even going to be a fair fight. I was kind of concerned about it. I was hoping to sneak up to them, but that's unnecessary. Just do one of those real quick. Then where do I want to put skills? That's a McFire up there. It would be lovely. So we're a stabber or melee fighter. Por qué no los dos, my friend? Por qué no los dos? But probably going to be leaning a bit more into the fighter side as we go forward. But to start off, stabbing is really nice. We're going to be with Wu Jian as well. So, I mean, the last time we went with Wu Jian on a winning run, we one-shot the Royal Jelly with a stab. So I think a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. But we'll have to see how she goes as we continue on. As for where we want to put our stats, I don't think we'll be worried too much about spellcasting on this character. Could go for Dex. Crank the evasion. I think long blades being affected by Dex instead of strength, that's a trunk thing, right? That's not a current stable. So we might want to just buff up strength. That's the whole reason why or one of the main reasons why they did that dexterity change. It is just a trunk thing. Shucks. No, so I think we'll just go for strength. Make sure we're hitting a little harder. We also get the regen there finally, so that's lovely. You one-shot the road jelly twice with Heavenly Storm, Serpent's Lash, Lunge. It's so fun. Yeah. I mean, it shocked me because I didn't know what to expect. We hit it on our first free step, and then nothing happened. And I was like, wait, where are all the slimes? I took a step down, and all of a sudden slimes everywhere across the entire screen, and I almost died on our little kobold buddy. But super satisfying. That ranks one of the top tier. It's first or second place in most like satisfying, coolest moments that I've had in this game. Our plan sneaky. What are we good at? We did say we'd check out our aptitudes as we went in. They are very sneaky. I mean, camouflage, definitely up the wazoo, as it were. But as we can see across the board, fairly solid at everything. Little bit rough in the defense department, armor and dodging, but not the end of the world. Everything else is totally trainable. Stealth, we can definitely level up very quickly with a +3 aptitude. So we'll probably end up leaning into that at least a bit, if not a decent amount. But okie dokie, let's see what this acquirement scroll has for us. Oh wow, and it's our second one, so 2 acquirement scrolls? You don't say. Oh what? I've been robbed. It was enchant armor. Again, it must have been Thelfon, it must have been floor 3 that has the acquirement that's gonna give us Kimon Gaia, right? Of course, it was so obvious in retrospect. Of course it was floor 3. Should have known. You're just making sure to keep us in suspense, using my own tricks against me. Keeping me interested. You gotta hook your audience. And you know what you're doing. You know exactly what you're doing. My hopes are flying, soaring. We'll have to see how it all comes up. So let's see, ring mail. We're at 3 pips of stealth. How does this affect us? Down to 2 is not great, but ring mail is not bad. As an early kind of midway point, give us some decent defenses, as well as still potentially getting a decent number of stealths. MCC is similar, but you can keep your distance to slimes and just take stairs up instead of almost dying. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, capacitive coupling there. And what are numbers really anyway? Honestly, I think we're still working on that one. Which sounds like it might be one of my usual jokes, but at the end of the day, I feel like there's always more to learn with numbers, and that's why the entire field of mathematics exists, especially theoretical mathematics. What are numbers really? It's a question that plagues mathematicians to this very day. Take catch-ups autopathing takes into account during orb run. Definitely, yeah, one of those min-maxing things that is super nice. It's similar to the idea of like creating dig pathways before doing your orb run. I find it's not strictly necessary, so I generally leave it out. But definitely for anyone out there who is trying to really min-max their game, you know, if you've gone so close to the cusp of winning but have been struggling to just get over that last little null, then definitely is a good idea to do all those little things. Effing magnets, how do they work? Who knows? Oh, hi, Natasha. Interesting. Well, let's see, where are we at? Natasha, stay back. Stay back, you foolish cat. I'm trying to keep you alive. Again, for anyone who hasn't been here in the past, as we go through this routine, I refuse to kill Natasha. Just a good old kitty cat, so going to try to just walk away. If necessary, we can kill them once. That's okay. They have a few lives. Don't have to regret our life's choices in that case. Hopefully we don't find anything down here. Perfect. Wait out the slow. Survives another day, Natasha does. Hurrah. Quite many fields of mathematics do not concern themselves with numbers at all. Definitely true. No, it's a huge discipline for sure, with many different avenues that one can go down. And many are super fascinating and very cool stuff. I'm not exactly cracked when it comes to the math in general, especially like calculus was one of the few courses that I had a lot of trouble with in university, but it's super cool. Super cool. And although there's not a rigorous definition for number, exactly, it could be anything. So we get attraction. I was hoping for curing. Katniss, I'm so sorry, but I'm not, because see, glowing green, fizzy green. Glowing green is probably radiation. Fizzy green, though, green does equal health. On the other hand, red potions. I mean, it's the same color as my blood. So, curing? Here's potion of resistance, and we're at 2 health. Interesting. Should have used, so I went through this way too fast. Rewind a bit when we were out here. Should have led back, first of all, as soon as we saw 2 targets, even beforehand. Should have brought the adder back. That's just good, solid basics. Other thing is I should have used a curare dart on the scorpion as soon as I saw them. Just in case it worked, would have gone us ahead. Vine Stalkers don't have red blood. You're right, Ramalama, which means it's not the radiation potion, but it's definitely the fizzy green potion. There's something very wrong with that liquid. Okay, rewind. Everyone knows that Vine Stalkers, in fact, don't have green blood either. Don't be ridiculous. We, of course, know from our various studies that Vine Stalkers actually have blue blood, and sometimes it's known to fume, which means this fuming blue potion has got to be healing. Potion of curing. What did I say? I mean, we already knew that that was the case, so it's not exactly a surprise, I know. Let's see, we still have the potion of attraction going, which is really bad. 2 health. You only got 1 shot. A blink would not do it for us, unfortunately. Or would it? Blink here, walk up, close the door behind us, and run for your life. Right, curare on the scorpion is nice. If we take a look, just to keep all of our options in front of us, 59% chance to hit. And then we can run and they'll probably die. 63% chance to hit me? I mean, the 37% chance to dodge is a lot better than the chances of one of these scrolls being blinking. So I think you're right. Just have to hit this 59%. And we never didn't have it. I meant this 59%. They are fast, indeed. Yeah. Unfortunately so, but this 59% never didn't have it. I mean, sometimes when you're right, you know? Oh boy, we have fun here. Give me a moment. Just gonna regenerate. Should have paid more attention in my plant biology classes, though. We could have gone that blue blood thing right away, because of course fuming blue blood from Vine Stalkers. We all know this. Not to rehash the joke, but let's try and curare the bear here. Then I'd like to poison the crud out of it. Maybe even pick up this curare tart once more. I don't think I need to double dip, so let's just switch back to regular old poison. You are berserk, but you're also almost dead. There you go. There you have it. Oh me, oh my. I mean, can't say we don't make things interested here in the early game. And again, maybe a good example of what not to do in your own runs, and that's always useful in its own way, shape, and form, right? You can see I've gone too into the OTAB mindset. The deep dwarf has ruined me. Now I'm just constantly holding down tab through these fights, not even thinking about the fact that this is a brand spanking new character. We should probably take that into account. Nice exploit pillar dancing. God, you wish the devs would ruin the game to stop that disgusting behavior. Well, oh boy, do I have a surprise for you. Great news, David. Oh, I'm so scared for when attacks of opportunity come in. It's going to be a nightmare for me. Integers, real numbers, complex numbers, those are for sure numbers. But what about quaternions? Quaternions. Or functions. Functions I'm familiar with. Quaternions I'm not. Might have to look that up and learn a new word today. You're definitely, yeah, more knowledgeable mathematician than I am. A very surface level relationship, mainly because I love mostly to apply math, though I love hearing about theoretical math. I just don't know that much about it. But it's very cool stuff, nonetheless. Here we go, level 7, not too shabby. Quaternions numbers like 5 plus 2i plus 3j plus 7k. So that's not I as in -1 squared there. Or, that's not right. You know, I think you know what I meant though. Oh, because -1 squared is just 1, folks. But it's the number that when squared equals -1. It's like complex numbers, but in 4 dimensions. Oh, you know, yeah, I think we did it in 3 before. It is, yeah. No, because I've used I and J. Oh man, that's a blast from the past. I don't remember very much from my university courses. I wonder if I got thrown into a test, if I could fake my way through any of it. Maybe, but very cool. You went into law, so you wouldn't have to do math, Chamberlain. Definitely fair enough. And great way to do it. It's not like you had to learn extremely tough things and memorize. Does law have a bunch of memorization? Because I know a lot of like legal proceedings are based off precedent, right? So did you have to do a lot of research into that precedent or those precedents? Interesting. Play armor ponderousness. I don't think we'll end up using you, but it's tempting. It's tempting. Yeah, it is like the imaginary eye. Yeah, I see in Colgate showing as well. The j squared and k squared also equal -1. Cool. Quaternions are commonly used to avoid gimbal lock, which can occur when representing 3D space with only 3 axes. Okay, that's super neat. I've definitely, yeah, never heard them explained in that way before, or that phrase. So thank you all for learning me a bit. I very much enjoy it. And I will still have to look it up a bit more in depth on my own, because I am got me interested for sure. As I take way too much damage to this bear. Let's fix that. And not too shabby. We get our Curio Dart back. That's good. Hamilton was originally looking for a 3-dimensional one when he finally realized it wasn't possible to do what he wanted with exactly 3 dimensions. That's one thing that I really enjoy about theories in general, is hearing where they came from, because one of my favorite factoids from physics is the idea that people love to talk about Schrodinger's cat when it comes to probabilities on like a quantum scale. But what most people don't know is that Schrodinger actually came up with that because somebody was describing to him the idea that a particle could be, you know, simultaneously in both states at once with the uncertainty of which you are. And this was at a party, and Schrodinger laughed and said, "That's ridiculous. That's almost as crazy as if I said that there was a cat in a box with a radioactive source, and we'd have to call the cat dead and alive at the same time. It's that stupid." And everyone he was talking to was like, "Huh, no, that's exactly right. I think you nailed it. That's exactly how it is. And now we'll teach that way." So it was very much initially a gut reaction of like, that's so stupid, and here's an example to display just how dumb you are. And yet, that example is now the most common way that people try to understand quantum probability. So how about that? Eat that, Schrodinger. Stick that in your pipe and smoke it. For law, you learn the precedents that apply to your own area, and the rest you look up. Oh, cool. But you were a failed engineer, so you did take college level calc, physics, chemistry. You were just bad at them. Here, here, brother. Here, here. But no, that's really cool. I've always had a peripheral interest in law as well. I feel like I'm one of those like people who is very attracted to the surface level read of law, where it's like, I love arguing and trying to prove my point, but there's more to it than just that. Oh no, Wujian is the only altar we haven't found. Ooh. Here's another fun one then. Lewis Carroll. Lewis Carroll's real name was Charles Dodgson, mathematician. Now, math back then was very tied to science, and so people had to ask what the fourth dimension in Hamilton's quaternions must be, and a popular opinion was that this might be time as the fourth dimension, and the Tea Party scene in Alice in Wonderland is a long metaphor about how absurd Hodgson thought having time as a dimension was. Oh, that's really fun. I do love that. Thanks, Stelphon. Well, that's perfect. It's funny how many of our metaphors and analogies are built out of spite rather than actual desire to explain things. Thought Schrodinger's cat was just plain animal cruelty. I mean, it's definitely a little bit of both. At least from a conceptual standpoint. Conceptual animal cruelty, which could be argued to be just maybe not just as bad, but almost as bad as the real deal. I think it's still a lot worse if you did any of that in person. This is why we believe we did not have doubt in our mind, even though Wujian was the only altar that wasn't there. Sometimes you just have to place your faith, and you will be rewarded. I'm so sorry, Safid. It won't be Fedhas with default. Fedhas by default with a bow, you say? Unfortunately not. Bow, though? Maybe. Maybe. I mean, I don't know how much Katniss cared about plants, so it might still be fairly on point here. I think they could get behind Wujian. I feel like they were more of an atheist, maybe agnostic, but gotta make the line somewhere. Figure it out. Hodgson famously hated answering letters about Alice in Wonderland. If he received one addressed to Lewis Carroll, he replied saying, "No such person lives here." And if he received one addressed to his real name, he wrote back saying that Lewis Carroll was the author. Oh, that's super cute. I mean, Lewis Carroll and I probably don't see eye to eye on a lot of things in life, but I do really enjoy those aspects. I also, I feel like I have been told that Lewis Carroll was a mathematician, but I totally forgotten. So that's really fascinating to hear. It's pretty wild how varied the main fields were for people in various disciplines, physics, math, all over the place. Come from all walks of life, and they do all sorts of stuff kind of as their day job. It's super cool. That's the thing. I find that math and science is so fun and so interesting, and the main issue is just the way that it's taught for most people, and it kind of creates an ingrained disdain for the fields, when I feel like if people were a bit less gatekeepy with how they taught it, were a bit more understanding and willing to walk people through some concepts, you just end up in a better spot for everyone in terms of wanting to learn math, because math is super cool and very, very fun and interesting if it's taught right. But if it's not, it's a nightmare. And I totally agree with people who did have those experiences, in high school, junior high, what have you. And it's just unfortunate, but it's completely fair on their part, and I just have to blame the teachers. Most of the story isn't math critique, it's stories he told his friend's daughter that he eventually put into the book. Yeah, I heard that, I believe, didn't he make up a lot of Alice in Wonderland on, boating trips with his friends' kids? Get some centaur, perfect. A lot of centaurs here on D6, not exactly ideal, but here we are. Should also double check. Is this a better cloak? Kind of a pukey green, but does make our skin tone pop. It's better than the kind of cobalt, was it cobalt blue that we had before? Yeah, let's go with something a little bit more muted, a little bit more natural, you know? We're very much into the natural color schemes. Besides gloves. Gloves got a pop, which is why they're bright purple. Okay, Curari, 60% chance to hit, and it doesn't. That is rough. It stands to reason that they'd be on the centaur floors of the dungeon. Boom. Lovely. Very like it. We discussed law with some math nerds and ended up in conclusion that law goes faster into difficult math than math. It's just whether there can be unambiguous law text, and we already had to deal with determining whether Gödel's incompleteness theorems apply there. Who knows if I'm reading correctly? Eyes are probably going out at me. Not only do I have the body of a... Well, I guess eyes are part of the body. So let's just go with, yeah, I just have the body of an old man across the board. What do we want to do with a hue? Can maybe fight the Wyvern of our own volition, but it's going to be tough. 20 damage is real bad, so I actually immediately regret even making the suggestion that we might be okay here. At the very least, we can pillar dance if things go poorly. Or not, right, because you are fast, you son of a gun. Well, folks, we had a good run. Let's turn into a tree. That might give us enough AC to get through this. We just have to deal enough damage while we're at it, which we're having a harder time with. Oh, right, I don't heal from potions. I kind of forgot about that. Kind of drink curing. Right, when we were scrambling for potions earlier, it wasn't quite as cut and dry as I made it out to be. Well, still have a shot here. We're in tree form. Just roll high on AC every time, baby. Give me haste or something, though. Potion of heal wounds. That's not what I was looking for. Skin feels very cold. You feel stronger. We got only good mutations? Cool. Muscles are very strong. Well, thank you. Let's drink one more, and it's might. You're saying there's a chance. It's whoever hits here wins. Whoever hits... Oh, you son of a gun. Katniss Evergreen. I mean, she died doing what she loved. I mean, a bit more of a deciduous, but you know, that's fine. They're all evergreen here in the dungeon. And now, she will forevermore be evergreen. R.I.P. Katniss Evergreen. R.I.P. F's in chat for good old Katniss. Your favorite thing about Gödel is the implication that any correct proof that the axioms of math are consistent is inherently a proof that they are not. Oh, I do love that kind of mind effery